And I think we're live. So, good afternoon. Good to see you here, Cheyenne. I think you've got the measure of this, which is a good thing. Okay, I'm going to carry on with what I was doing yesterday. I'm going to wait a minute or two until we get some more people in, because it's more fun, or it's certainly better with more people if we can get them. I'm sure we will. But let's see. While we're waiting, why don't we actually go over some of the words from last time? Let me shut that. And whoops, that's the wrong file, and this is the right file. So, good evening, NL. Konnichiwa to you in Japan, and Praveen. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, for example, these words from last time. What's up, Vitali? Great to see you. So, a petition from last time is where lots of people sign a document trying to persuade the authorities to do something. Here it was to appeal for information, an appeal to gather money, to implore, to beg, and to plead. Let's see, to beg is you ask somebody for something very, very good. I'm very old. And to implore is probably slightly stronger. And then to plead, you plead with someone to get them to try and change their mind. Okay, and let's look at some more. Good evening. So to you, definitely good evening, Manji. Okay, in this next one, remember this word elderly. Somebody, we don't call people old because it's rather rude. Antiquated is something that's old-fashioned and not used anymore. Decrepit means it's falling apart at the seams. And venerable, respected and old. Yeah, the venerable old sage. And then finally this one, to snatch a few hours sleep. To clutch means to hold on to. To pluck, you pluck a guitar string. To swipe, either to steal or to run a card through the card reader. And then grip, to grip is to hold on to. Yeah, the child was gripping his mother's hand. Okay, so now we're starting to get people in. This is good. So let me get to the first one. Good evening, Sienna. Okay, here we go, definitely. Hand. Jeune Jube. Okay, I've never been to Japan. I've been to China. I would love to go to Japan. I was in China a couple of years ago, but I think Japan is a very different place. Okay, so let's continue then. Wednesday. At 0600, Detective Chief Inspector McHugh is told that the health of the burglary victim, Maureen Whale, has deteriorated. Ms. Whale has been in the house at the time of the raid, thievery, break-in, and fainted, passed out, collapsed, crashed while phoning 999. She dies in hospital. Okay, so Cheyenne goes for break-in for the first one, and Vitali goes for break-in for the first one, and Sienna goes for break-in for the first one as well. Okay, let's see if we get some answers from an answer from Manji as well, for example. Okay, this is spur of the moment stuff. Absolutely. I decided about 10 minutes ago. Yeah, and that's why you don't really get notified for it, Vitaly. Because for me it's very easy. like that. Okay, and then Sienna goes for break-in and collapsed. Okay, so let's look at the first one. The time of the raid. A raid is more likely to be the police. Thievery, well, thievery is what thieves do. But no, this is a break-in. Yeah, a burglary, notice this word burglary, is the same as a break-in. And then we've got these. We've only got a couple of answers to these. Vitaly goes for passed out, and Sienna goes for collapsed. So we've definitely got a divergence of ideas. Okay, I'm glad your English improved. Good, Manji. It's definitely a break-in, yeah, for the first one. But we're now looking for the second one as well. Okay, so also actually look at this word ms. Yeah, this is politically correct. It doesn't say if she's Miss or Mrs. I think probably in this case Ms. Whale is an old lady. Heh. Heh. Yes, but that's Sienna. That's one of the reasons why I try and do these earlier if I can, because it's a good time for people in Asia. Okay, and Mummy, good evening. Great to see you. So Manji goes for fainted for the second one. Huh, that's interesting. So fainted, passed out, collapsed, crashed. So I'm going to give you a clue. Firstly, this one crashed can't be. Yeah? Because to crash normally means to go to sleep. Yeah? Maybe you've been at a party and you drink too much and then you crash. Okay, so, Mammy, in the first one, we already actually did this one. This one is a break-in. Way. So capital letters break, and then I need my keyboard in English, not Spanish. In here, Ms. Unknown marital status. Yeah, it's politically correct. Yeah, and Mammy goes for fainted for the second one. So let's see, how many right answers have I had? I've had 2 right answers for this second one. Okay, so it can't be crashed. She went to bed because she was drunk. No, she didn't go to bed because she was drunk. Let's see, she could have fainted or she could have passed out. But notice the health of the victim, and then she dies in hospital. Okay, so the word we need here is collapsed. To collapse is much more serious. Okay, let's see, if you faint, maybe it's too hot. If you pass out, maybe again it's too hot, or maybe you've drunk too much alcohol. But if somebody collapses, this is a medical condition. Okay, he collapsed at the office. Okay, thank you very much. Amit Saul, that's very nice of you. Okay, so to collapse, you fall on the floor. Yeah, because something bad has happened. He had a heart attack and collapsed. Okay, so if you faint or you pass out, it's less serious. If you collapse, there's a more serious problem. Collapsed, that's the one, Manji. And by 8:30, Detective Chief Inspector McHugh is in the office where there's some debate about whether the case should be handled by MIT8 and the possible impacts, implications, effects, reverberations, spin-offs for other murder teams in London. If MIT8 takes the case, colleagues from elsewhere will have to investigate any other suspicious deaths during the week. So Vitaly goes in implication. Cheyenne goes for implications. Sienna goes implications. I think this one's going to be a landslide. Good evening, Laxina, or maybe good afternoon, because I don't know where you are. Okay, and Mammy goes for implications as well. That's 5 implications in a row. So let's look at some of the other words while we're here. Okay, a spin-off is normally a product or a byproduct that comes from something else. So I don't know, the pocket calculator was a spin-off of the space program. Okay, and Google's gone for implication here, and Manji's gone for implication as well. So it's definitely not spin-off. The possible reverberations. Normally reverberation is to do with sound. Yeah, it's a low sound that echoes backwards and forwards. If there's a lot of bass in the music, it reverberates. Effects, no. It would have to be an E here with effects. Yeah, because that affects, no, it needs to be with an E. And the possible impacts. Normally, yeah, the possible different, no, it's definitely implications. Spin-offs are applied to movies very often. They're also applied to business and to products as well. So implications is the right answer. So good evening, Madeng. Thank you. Okay. So, well, you came on time. That's really good. So let's continue and go to the next one. So implications was definitely the last one. Okay, implications, a ripple effect. That's very good. Whereas a spin-off is something different that you didn't expect. Yeah, I'm thinking of Doctor Who, and there are various other series that are spin-offs from Doctor Who. But it can be other things as well, Cheyenne. Okay, a decision is made at 10 that MIT8 should take the case, which requires passing the hat car to another team. With 4 of his detectives involved in a trial and 1 on a course, he has to find officers from elsewhere. That was quite a few phone calls to try to lend, borrow, lift, purloin, pilfer people from other teams, he said. Okay, so let's see. Vitaly goes for borrow, Cheyenne goes for pilfer, and Sienna goes for borrow. So this one I think is reasonably easy. The question is, what does pilfer mean and what does purloin mean? Okay, so okay, Manji goes for borrows. To purloin is a posh word for to steal, to take without permission. But this is a formal word to purloin. There's I think there's a short story by, I think it's Edgar Allan Poe, The Purloined Letter. Okay, to purloin, to steal. To pilfer is also to steal, but pilfer is much more informal. Very often pilfering is what happens when people steal things from work. Yeah, to purloin is to steal. To pilfer is also to steal. Is when you take things from work without permission. That's to pilfer. So many companies have a lot of pilfering. Okay, you can't lend people. It would be lend people to other teams. Okay, hola María, tienes escrito tu nombre en Hangul. Okay, I didn't know you spoke Spanish, Sienna. So to purloin, to pilfer, to nick. But notice, Vitaly, pilfer, informal. Nick, informal. Purloin, very formal. Okay, so I'm not going to go on with that. The answer is borrow. Yeah, to borrow people from other teams. Here, this would be stealing and this would be stealing as well. So maybe they're not such good answers. Yeah, I like that to Nick. Okay, so let's continue. It means, hello Maria, you've written your name in Hangul. I don't know what Hangul is, but maybe it's Korean. Maybe it's this bit of Korean language here. It's all right. I know. I realized that. So let me read this. A major incident room for the burglary death is set up in Putney, but most of the unit make the 14-mile journey to Colindale Police Station for a handover. This is where they the local police hand it over to these people with the local officers who initially handled the case. At the meeting, his team is informed, notified, enlightened, briefed on local intelligence about burglaries in the area and what CCTV, closed circuit TV, has been confiscated, seized, hijacked, grabbed. So let's see. Cheyenne goes for informed. Vitali goes for briefed. Yeah, it is Korean. Thank you, Mummy. Laksina, the Japanese language. You're a student of Korean, but I'm going to call you Maria now because Sienna gave away the clue. And then Vitali says seized for the other one. Manji goes for briefed. Mami goes for briefed. Manji goes for seized. Maria goes for informed. Praveen goes for briefed. Manbeng goes for briefed. Okay, so most people are going for briefed in the first one. Okay, so let's see. In this first one, let's see, his team is informed. Informed would work, but it's not my first choice. Yeah? Notified. Well, to notify is you tell someone about a situation, but you don't give them information. I guess enlightened. Enlightened means understanding. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a good question, Mummy. I don't like confiscated much either. And then his team is provided with local intelligence. So, informed on, not very good. To brief somebody on, to brief, to give information. Hello, Wilsey. So, briefed is briefed on local intelligence about burglary. And what CCTV footage, film, has been. So, Mummy doesn't like confiscated. It doesn't fit. When I make this exercise, I need to put words that aren't the right answer. Let's see. The teacher confiscates your phone in class when you're 12 years old and it rings. No. To hijack. This is like to hijack an aeroplane, or maybe a virus hijacks your browser or something like that. So it's definitely not hijacked either. We're still waiting for more answers. So Maria goes for seized. To grab. To grab is to take rapidly. He grabbed the money from the table. So Praveen says seized for sure. Okay, we're starting to go with to seize. Okay, absolutely. Okay, let's see. To seize means to take something, but legally. Yeah. I don't know, if you don't pay money that you owe, then maybe they will seize your car or they will seize your assets. You could also seize a city. It means to take. It could mean to take by force or to take with legal authority. Yeah. You seize the footage. Yeah. Okay, you get your assets seized. That's great, Vitaly. Okay, and we'll continue with this. Okay, so to seize, it's sort of like grab, but it's a more formal word. And get up on as an alternative for the first one. Okay, yeah, gen up on. That's a good one, Diego. No, it's not a preposterous addition. I think that works quite nicely, actually. Yeah. Can be, taking into your custody, absolutely. Okay, a family liaison officer, FLO, is dispatched, transmitted, submitted, forwarded, posted to meet the victim's family. A job Detective Chief Inspector McHugh would normally do, but couldn't because of how far away they live. So, Cheyenne says dispatch, to seize, to impound. That's a very good word, I like that. Laxina says submitted. Vitaly goes for dispatched. Let's see if we get a few more answers for this as well. Okay, so Maria goes for forwarded. And Sujit, good evening, or good, yes, to you it's going to be good evening, Sujit. Dispatched. Okay, let's look at some of these. The teacher confiscated the tacky wristwatch of the pupil. That's a good example of confiscate, Manji. Thank you for that. Okay, let's see. Okay, and Manden goes for dispatched as well. So to post, notice what goes after here, to meet. To post means to give somebody a job. He was posted to the London office. Okay, Manji goes for dispatched. Is forwarded. No, you forward an email, you forward a letter. So I got some letters from the last person who lived here. So I forward those letters to this person's new address. To submitted, you submit a form. To hand in to an official place, to submit. And then transmitted, you transmit information. No, the answer is dispatched. Yeah, to dispatch is to send somebody to do something, to send somebody out. So they, in a taxi firm, the person who tells the taxi drivers where to go over the radio is the dispatcher, and he dispatches people to different places. You could have a dispatch rider who takes messages to different places. Notice also, though, to dispatch, to finish a piece of work. So I dispatched that piece of work very easily, or I dispatched my lunch in 5 minutes and got terrible indigestion. But here, to send somebody to do a job, to send somebody from your office or where you work to a new place, to go and deal with something. Wow, let me try and get this one in the right position. Yes. Okay, so we're going to do another one. And FLOs, liaison officers, fulfill a vital role in cases where someone has died in suspicious circumstances, as well as providing support to relatives as the case progresses, upgrading, revamping, actualizing, updating, supplying them on progress, and explaining the investigative and legal processes. They gather, accumulate, summon, congregate information from them about the victim to help the police inquiry. So, notice this on in the first one. Yeah, them on progress. That tells you the answer. So lots of people voting for updating. Yeah, Okay, Vitaly, Cheyenne, Laxina. I'm glad the class is helpful, Maria. Updating from Sienna. Vitaly goes for gather. And Cheyenne goes for gather. Sujit updating. Okay, there seems to be a massive agreement about updating. Yes, definitely. To update somebody on something. So, updating. Upgrading, no, you upgrade your computer, or you upgrade your facilities, or you upgrade your car. To revamp is to take something old and repair it and make it new again. You could revamp a building, you could revamp an old car. Actualizing, this doesn't exist, but it's very like a Spanish word that actually gives this updating meaning. And supplying them with information on progress. Okay, so let's see. So Manji's gone for accumulate, but just about everyone else is going for to gather. Okay, so okay, so information. You could, I guess, you could accumulate information, but here they're collecting it. Yeah. To summon is to call somebody. The boss summoned me to his office. They summoned up a spirit. To congregate means lots of people meeting together. The young people congregated in the square. But the right answer is to gather. Gather's a good word. To collect together, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely not summoned. The boss summoned me. I like that update, to bring up to speed. So yes, very good indeed. Notice, Maria, it's updating, not upgrading. To update somebody on something, to give them the latest information. Okay, so yeah, to gather information, very definitely. And get the next one in the right position. Yes. To glean. Okay, yeah. To glean information, that's a really, really good word. I like it. I really like that word. To glean means to, actually it means to pick up the crops in a farmer's field when the harvester has been through. But to glean, to collect, to gather together, I love it. Okay. FLOs, liaison officers, provide a crucial link to the senior investigative officer, and in some occasions, instances, issues, precedents, details about the victim's personal life, friends and family setup have provided clues that have helped settle, decode, solve, explain, overcome the case. So, I like garner. That's a great word. And they garner information. They collect information. That's a really good word for the last one. So, let's see. Vitaly, Cheyenne, and Laxina go for instances. And then Vitaly goes for solve, Laxina goes for solve, Mammy goes for instances. Could you update them on the new development? That's very good, Mandeng. I love it. That's a good example. It makes me happy when students give examples, because it's a good way to remember vocabulary. By making an example, it cements it in your mind. Okay, Figuera, Sienna. Occasions explain. Interesting. Maria goes for instances, and Mammy says solve for the second one. Okay, let's see. Occasions. It can't be occasions, because this would be on an occasion. And that it's not in an occasion, it's on an occasion. In some instances, absolutely. Okay, in some cases, yeah. In some issues, well, an issue is a problem, and a precedent is completely wrong. A precedent is something that's happened before, or a decision that's been made before, or something that's happened to mean that you can do this again, to set a precedent. The judge found the person innocent in this type of case many years ago, and that sets a precedent. Okay, so yeah, details. They garner details that have helped to, okay, to overcome the case. No way. To overcome a problem. To explain the case. Okay, maybe you can explain it, but that doesn't mean you found the right answer. To settle. Normally you settle an argument. Yeah? You settle an argument between different people. Or you settle on a price. To decode, well, if something is coded, then you decode it. Yeah, so I'm trying to decode this thing. It's very important to consider the subject, the object, and the prepositions, Laxina. Okay, here, okay, to solve a case, to solve a problem, yeah, to solve a maths equation. Entangle. I'm not so. I'm trying to think where you mean entangle with this, Sujit. Okay, let's continue to the next one. So that was good, a pretty good work here. Okay, yes. Precedent always challenge me. Could you elaborate? Okay, a precedent, let's see, is when you do something which means that this is permissible in the future. So, for example, as a teacher, if one of my students' telephone rings in class and I let them answer it and I don't say anything about it, this sets a precedent for other people to do exactly the same thing. Yeah? By not getting angry with the student, it sets a precedent. It tells everyone that this is okay because you've seen it done before. Yeah? And that's the idea of a precedent, is when you do something or say something or let something happen which indicates to people that it's okay to do this. Yeah? Okay, so at 1600 there's a gold group meeting with the borough commander Simon Rose. Before the team visits, approaches, heads, arrives to the scene of the crime, which is near Barnet Hospital. It was really helpful to understand the geography of the scene, Detective Chief Inspector McHugh says. So we've got 2 heads and 2 arrives. Okay, I'm going to give you the key to this one. The key is this preposition to. So visits to, approaches to, heads to, arrives to. Only one of those works. So exactly, Cheyenne. Arrive with, arrive at the scene of the crime. It can't be arrive. The team arrives at the scene of the crime. No. The team visits, no preposition, the scene of the crime. Absolutely, mammy. The team approaches, comes near, but no preposition, the scene of the crime. However, to head is to go in the direction of. I'm heading home now. He's heading north, going in a direction. A heading is a bearing on a compass, an angle. So to head to, I'm heading to town if you want me to give you a lift. To head, to go in the direction of. Good evening, Nareen, as well. And Abira's here as well, Abira. That's great. So we're starting to get more people. Okay, so let's try the next one. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so to head to somewhere. Also, though, he's He's heading to London. He's heading to India. He's on his way to go in the direction of. Hello, Patel. Good, that's okay. This was impromptu. He deploys smeller, smelling, smelly, sniffer dogs. Works out which routes the burglars might have taken. Consults the police crime scene manager about a plan for recovering items for forensic examination. Arranges for photographs of the scene. Joins, deals, liaises, contacts with notice that, with the exhibits officer, and ensures a post-mortem is organised. Okay, so the first one, this is these dogs that smell really, that have a really good sense of smell. Okay, correct, Manji. Heads too, absolutely. And what are they called? Okay, sniffing. Yeah, but they're called in English sniffer dogs because they sniff the smell. Smeller dogs I would never use. Smelling dogs, no. Smelly dogs are dogs that smell very bad. Yeah. And no, clearly the dog has a good sense of smell. It doesn't have a terrible smell. Okay, so let's go down to the next one. So notice this with. Joins with the exhibits officer. No. Joins the exhibits officer, so no joins. Contacts the exhibits officer, no with. But deal with and liaise with. Good evening, Funda. Great to see you. So, Abira, it can't be joins. It joins the exhibits officer. Laxina goes for deals with. Maria goes for deals with. Good work, Patel. Cheyenne goes for liaises. Vitali goes for liaises. So, in this case, if he has a problem with the exhibits officer, he deals with him. You deal with a problem. You deal with something that's difficult to do. To liaise with, yes, exactly, Vitali, the liaison officer, the FLO, they've been talking about liaison the whole way through this. To liaise is to link with, to get information from. Okay, so to liaise with. A liaison is an illicit affair. There's this great book, or film as well, Liaison Dangereuse. But yeah, to liaise, to link with. Okay, so maybe if you're there's a deal going on between two companies, there will be people who will liaise, get information and give information to the other company. So, liaises. Notice, so, sniffer dogs and liaises with. Okay. This next one, you really need to know the collocation. So here it is. At the same time, members of the public come up with, produce, remember, bits and bobs, bops, bods of information about other break-ins. We've got to be really focused and say, what is the link? Some of the links we've got might disappear. Detective Chief Inspector McHugh says he finally gets home at 9:30. This is a good one. So Vitalia goes for Bob, Freya goes for bits and bobs, Cheyenne bits and bobs, Mammy bits and bobs. Okay, bits and pieces is also possible. Yes, bits and pieces. This one, bits and bobs, is more informal, and this is this Detective Chief Inspector talking, and I think he's a bit of a cockney as well. But notice these as well. B. Yeah? Okay, so very often these start with the same letter. So the bog is either a marshy area, odds and ends, or even odds and sods as well, Vitaly. Okay, Manuf goes for bobs as well. So the bog is either a marshy, wet area or the toilet, a very informal word for the toilet. Bits and bobs, bits and pieces. I don't know what bobs here is, and I wouldn't use it in any other place except for in this collocation. To bob as a verb means to float high in the water. To bop means either to hit or to dance. And a bod is an informal word for a person. Odds and ends, yeah, bits and bobs, it's alliteration. Very often with these things, there is alliteration. Bits and bobs, absolutely mangy. Okay, let's do a little bit more of this. So we get to the next day now. Notice this is quite a long article, so so I've got lots and lots to go with it. Yes. Okay, Thursday. By 0800, Detective Chief Inspector McHugh is on his way to offices at the Met's Hendon spot, place, site, venue, where there's an hour-long conference call with everyone involved in the quarry. So Cheyenne goes for Hendon Place. Let's see what else we get here first. Abira goes for place as well. This is interesting. Okay, so we got spot, place, site, venue. Vitali goes for venue. Laxina goes for place. Haha. Manuf goes for venue. This one's very interesting indeed. Let's have some more answers with this. Freya goes for place. So let's see. The Met's Hendon spot. It can't be spot. A beauty spot. Yeah? Okay, Maria goes for place. This is great. So spot is not the right answer. And Mammy goes for place as well. This is great. I love this. Let's just see if we get a few more answers first. And Mandane goes for place. A venue for a wedding or a conference or a concert or a football match, yes. But notice, Vitali, a venue is a place where events occur. And here, this is to offices. And events don't occur in offices. So, Cheyenne, no, I'm going to tell you. Venue is not the right answer. A venue is so Manji's gone for venue as well. A venue is where events take place. Yeah, but an office is not a venue. A venue for a concert, a venue for a wedding. Place also does not fit because the Met's Hendon Place, I might say this very, very informally. So, Nareen, I think you've been listening. You're the first person to get it right. Site. The Met's Hendon site, the location that they have, where they have offices there. Okay, so they have different sites. You still have a strong conviction for place. No, do you want to come over to my place? I know a really good place where we can have a picnic, but not the Met's Hendon Place. This is far too informal. Venue's not right because it's a place where events occur. Its site, like Mammy has just put as well. Okay, it's a site, it's a location. Yeah, and to me, none of the others fit. It's got to be the O2 site, the building site. Okay, if you've got various locations, then the Met's Hendon site, the Met's Hendon offices, the Met's Hendon branch. Yeah. Yep, possessive pro adjective plus place. Yep, no. Yeah, the Met's Hendon site. It's got to be a site. Okay, so let's try the next one. And let's just get this in the right position. So it's a site, a building site, an archaeological site. Yep, it is right. It is site, Manji. I'm so glad to get one where everyone's been in trouble. Okay, there are now 20 detectives working on the case, plus support staff and forensic experts, each involved with different strands, making it vital that everyone is kept up to rush, velocity, speed, sprint. This one's easy. A dumping site, a rubbish site, yeah, the temple site. So, okay, Vitali's gone. Yeah, you've used this one before, Vitali, I've heard you. So, working on, absolutely, this first one's easy. They're working on the case. Yeah, okay, so everyone's got that. Mummy goes for sprint. So, up to updated. Yes, that's it. Vitalia used this phrase to talk about updated. Yeah? Okay, so definitely on. Keep somebody in the loop. That's very good. I like that. Yeah? So, only one of these works. I'm going to wait for a few more answers. Vitaly and Cheyenne say speed. Mummy says sprint. Let's see see what else people say. Okay, and Freya goes for sprint as well. That on is definitely right, Manji. So to keep somebody or to get somebody up to keep somebody in the know, to keep them informed, to keep them updated, Abira goes for speed. Okay, so rush, velocity, sprint. None of those three fit. Yeah, it's up to speed. This is to keep somebody updated. Yeah, are you? Let me get you up to speed and inform you what's happening. Are you up to speed with with this? So if you're up to speed, you know what's happening. You're with it. I get. You arrived at the tail end. Yes, unfortunately, you did left right. Sorry. It was this was another impromptu one. I just decided to do it. Well, you've just joined here, Englishman. Okay, so up to speed. Are you up to speed about what's happening in this project? Au courant. Wow, I love it. Au courant is a really good one to keep somebody across something. Yeah. Hola, hombre. And to keep up to speed, updated, exactly, Laxina. Sprint is like racing. Yeah, you do 100 meters sprint to run as fast as you can. Yeah, sprint is as fast as you can go. Okay, so let's try another one. Okay. Au fait, to keep somebody au fait. I love that au fait as well. Au courant, au fait. These are good phrases. These are good phrases to use in essays and things like that. Okay, as well as ensuring that leads, hints, clues, signs are followed along, up, through, and the inquiry is going in the right direction. His role as senior investigating officer is to ensure the team's resources and personnel are utilized in the most effective way. So, lots of French expressions. There are lots and lots of French expressions in English, Mammy. So, Ensuring from Cheyenne, ensuring from Laxina, ensuring from Nareen. Okay, Vitaly goes ensuring and clues. It's interesting. Ensuring, absolutely Abira. Cheyenne goes for clues. Leferite goes for ensuring leads up and ensure, good. Ensuring clues from Mammy. So I'm going to do this first one. It's the same as the last one as well. To assure is what you do this first with an A when somebody's a bit nervous about something. Yeah, I assured, to reassure somebody that's something is true. Whereas to ensure is to make certain that something happens. Yeah, to ensure that it's true. It's got to be ensure, to make sure that this is real. So Felix Bristow, we're up to, goes for leads. Most people are going for clues, and Vitaly goes for followed up for the last one. Okay, this is very, very interesting. In this next one, I think clues would work, but it's not the best word. The best word is leads. That's it, Manji. Well done. Okay, normally you have a lead and an inquiry. It's like a clue. It's something that could lead you to the answer. I think hints are when people give you suggestions that as to the answer of something. Yeah, this one was a hard one. Okay, yeah, Leferite got leads as well. Well done, you. All signs, they're not signs, they're leads. In a police investigation, they investigate the different leads. And then the next one's easy. Here. Lead, nibble. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Here, a lead is a clue. It's, or maybe if you're a salesman and you're looking for leads for people who might buy your product, who you might be able to sell to, and you follow up the leads. So notice I've given you the second answer as well. To follow up, to continue seeing what happens about it. So to follow up a lead. This is a very good collocation. Yeah. Okay, is to investigate it and see what happens. And then with the next one we've got insure again. I've got this one twice. Yeah. Oh, now I understand your nibble. Not quite a bite, but a nibble. Yes, it's somebody who's interested in it, but maybe not enough, and that's a lead. Yeah, it's a bit of information that could take you somewhere more interesting. Okay, let me move to the next one. And okay, so yes, a lead. Okay, one of the more mundane, earthly, bland, monotonous issues is transport. Given the distances between the incident room in Putney, the borough police headquarters in Colindale, and the crime scene in Barnet. 16 staff only have 3 cars between them. It's a bit of a challenge, says Detective Chief Inspector McHugh. So, Leferite goes for mundane. To follow up, to take something to its logical conclusion. To follow on, to keep going. Maria says mundane. Tomek, another great, yeah. I'm fine there. I'm sorry, we're getting towards the end today, Tomek. Vitaly goes for mundane. Laxina goes for mundane. Mammy goes for mundane as well. Okay. So, mundane, earthly, bland, monotonous. That's quite interesting. So, and mundane's going for mundane as well. So, mundane has this idea of every day, something that happens every day. Sujit goes for mundane, Abira goes for mundane. So if it's monotonous, it's the same thing again and again. Or I am talking in a monotonous tone like a robot. Bland means without flavor, without any taste. Absolutely, Vitali. Yeah. Every day, mundane, left or right, from the Latin mundus. I love it. And Manji goes for mundane as well. One of the more earthly issues. I guess maybe a priest has spiritual issues and mundane issues. So, mundane. Every day and not very interesting. Yeah, it's something you've got to do every day. Yeah, routine. I like routine. Mundane is boring, tiresome, and something that you have to do every day. Okay, so we'll try another one of these. Mundane is boring and tiresome. Absolutely. Okay, so let's try 5 more minutes, but my voice is starting to go now. So, he coordinates further, farther work, including house-to-house inquiries, and finds out whether CCTV, closed-circuit television, images of the suspects can be strengthened, enhanced, enriched, refined. Ha! Ah, yes, I did. Thank you very much. That's better. You see? Yeah. Okay, now I put it right. That's wonderful. Okay, so the clear question in these two is, what's the difference between further and farther? So Vitali goes for further and Tomek goes for further. And then Vitali goes for enhanced for the second one. Maria goes for further, further. Yes, Mami, Maruf. Or is it Manuf? It's Maruf. Abira, everybody's going for further. Okay, so normally farther we use for distance. So I guess from where I live, London is farther away than Paris. We use farther to mean more distant, whereas further we normally use to mean additional, further inquiries, further purchases. Yeah, so more distant, farther, and additional, further. So the first one is farther. Whoops. And whoops, sorry, I've written the wrong answer, haven't I? F-A-R-T-H-E-R. It's got to be further. That's me writing the wrong thing. Further. Additional work. Further additional. Okay. Farther. Yeah, that's better. Farther. Okay, and finds out whether CCTV images of the suspects can be strengthened, enhanced, enriched, refined. So we have a landslide of people going for enhanced, and it's the right answer. Whoops, and I've written it twice without writing it in capitals. Okay, so to enhance, to make something better. Let's see if they can be strengthened. I wouldn't use strengthened. To enrich, to make, well, let's see, to enrich the experience. But to enhance is to make better quality. I guess they could be refined as well. Enhanced, blown up. Yes. Okay, so, yeah, it was enhanced. It could be improved, very definitely. Okay, my friends, I'm going to stop here. I don't know when I'm going to have the next one of these, but there is still a lot more of this article to go. We've probably got maybe another 4 1-hour sessions with it. Absolutely enhance. Further means an additional extent. Farther is related to distance. Exactly, Abira, that's the idea. So enough for today. Thank you all for coming. You've been a great group as always, and I'll see you all again soon. Refine. To refine, for example, you have metal. You get metal from the ground, which is mixed with earth and all sorts of things. To refine means to make purer, to increase the purification of. So yeah, thank you all for coming. I want you all to stay safe, stay well, keep studying, and I'll see you all soon. You've been a great